are you doing? It is beautifully bright out just right now. The sun's come out. It is really, really bright and lovely, but it is very, very cold. I don't know where you're watching from, whether you've had a little bit of a flurry of snow. I know up in Scotland it's -5. It was about -1 here today. So it's it's bright and it might warm up. I hope you're all keeping well. I hope you're all nice and warm and ready to get making with me today. So I'm going to be making some gorgeous little gemstone bracelets. We are using 1 gauge of wire, which is 1mm or 18 gauge. It is, as I say, just 1 gauge, but 2 lengths. We've got lots of lovely gemstone beads to choose from and some lovely little spacer beads as well. So I'm hoping you'll find this quite a nice, pleasurable, but easy make to do. So I'm going to say good morning to you all very quickly before I take you over to the website and show you today's kits. We've got a little offer on for you as well today, which is going to last the whole week, so very nice. The sun is really blinding me now, though. I'm a bit squinty, so apologise for that. I could draw the curtains, but I don't want to. I feel I need the sunshine on my face. Good morning to Rachel. She says, good morning from a bright and sunny and frosty Barrow. Good morning to Lisa. Good morning to Carol. Hello to Jan. She says, good morning, Natalie and everybody. Trish is in as well. Good morning to you. So let me know where you're watching from. Have you had a nice weekend? What have you been making? Jan says it's very crisp and sunny in Sudbury today. Yeah, I think they've said there may be proper snow on the way, but we will see. I don't mind it. It's lovely. I just don't really know whether I want to defrost the car and all the things that come with it. Yolanda says, good morning and happy Monday from the cold and lots of snow, Michigan. Oh, okay, so you've got loads of snow that way. Good morning from a cold Georgia, says Teresa. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for being with me today. Angela says, good morning, Natalie. -2 here in Forfar, but very sunny. It's gone really, really bright. It was so dark this morning, and Mondays are always an early start for us here. And it just feels like you're getting up in the middle of the night because it's so dark. But sunshine's here now. Okay, I'm going to take you over to the website. So we are on totallybeads.co.uk. Good morning, Lisa. How are you? She's been looking forward to this make. It's so pretty. Thank you very much. So you can find this make in our video tutorials. I'll go back one just so you can see how to access this. So you can click into the video tutorials here or here, whichever way you like. And if you scroll down today, we are doing Francesca bracelets. So click on in and have a little look at the different colours we've got for you today. Now we're using 2 different colours of the wire. I've got 3 on the gold plated kind of colourway and 3 on the silver as well for you. So I'm using the amethyst, the carnelian, the dragon vein, the fluorite, the turquoise howlite, or the yellow jade. They're all really lovely. I hope there's something there for everybody. In your amethyst, obviously it's all kind of one beautiful purple colour, but you know, looking at the ones I've got here down on my mat, you are getting like little bands and stuff, like little chevron markings running through some of those. Your carnelian varies in colour from kind of yellows to more oranges and reds. Your dragon vein is a bit of a mix, so obviously each gemstone is completely different and unique, but if you're looking for more of a mix of colour, I would suggest the dragon vein or the fluorite. And the fluorite you're getting kind of yellows, purples, greens, clear colours. Dragon vein, you're getting reds, greens, browny colours, really, really pretty. Your turquoise howlite is, obviously you've got that gorgeous dyed turquoise colour on your gemstones, and the yellow jade is a beautiful kind of soft pale yellow, really, really pretty. Your kits today vary in price because obviously your gemstones slightly vary in price. Most of them are £4.99. Your amethyst and the fluorite are a little more expensive, a whole pound more expensive at £5.99. You can get 2 kits with a 15% off discount today. That's going to last for the week, that discount offer. So if you can't decide, or you think actually I'd like to kind of mix the colours up, then by all means get those 2 kits and get that 15% off deal. you're getting all your spacers and everything you need to make. It's one bracelet in a kit. So I think we've included 12 of the gemstone rounds for you. You know, it does depend how large you want to make these. I think 12 is the biggest you'll probably need. I think obviously it depends on the fit. You can adjust that as you go. So I'll head into each category and you can have a little look in a bit more depth at these lovely bangles. So this one is your £5.99 amethyst. You're getting your copper wire, which is the silver coloured wire, and that is 1mm or 18 gauge. You're also getting your gemstone round beads, which are 8mm I think in size, and your spacer beads, which are 3mm. So if you want to have a little look exactly what's in your kit, you're only using those 3 components. We're even going to be making our own clasps today, so we don't need to be adding on any extra findings. So you're going to get those gorgeous amethyst rounds in 8mm, your copper coloured wire, which is in the silver colour, and your spacer beads as well. So that one is there for you. The carnelian, I love this one. I've had to put it on the gold coloured wire because I just think it blends so beautiful. There's lovely kind of gold tones, orange warm tones in this one. Again, all the same things that you're getting in terms of your components, just on a different colourway. So you're getting your carnelian beads, you're getting your gold coloured wire, and you're getting gold coloured little spacer beads as well, which are 3mm in size. Have a little scroll down if you want. This is a good idea of, you know, what your gemstones may look like. Everyone will be unique and different, and they will all have their own unique markings, which means, you know, if you are gifting these, if you are selling these, no two are ever going to be exactly the same, even if you are, you know, following this process to a T and you are making numerous ones of these bracelets. They will all be unique and beautiful in their own right. So that one is your carnelian, and that is just £4.99. We've got the dragon vein, which, to be honest, I think is one of my favourite because I just love the mix of colours. You can see here in this sample, there's a real mix there. And if we scroll down, you can see you've got like cherry reds, you've got whites, you've got greens, you've got yellows, a real lovely mix of colour. That one is also on your champagne gold coloured wire, and you've got your champagne gold beads, little spacers in that one as well. For your Francesca gemstone bracelet in the fluorite, I've put this with the silver, but again, if you wanted to, you can get those 2 kits and you could swap that over if you wanted to get maybe one of the gold colourways, you wanted to add that onto the gold. I do think it looks lovely with the silver though. Have a little scroll down, you can see again here just how different colours are in this mixed fluorite. Really lovely, I think, to get a mix because, you know, you might be able to kind of pattern out your gemstones in the terms of, like, you know, you might want to use more purple coloured ones, more pink ones. I think having that green is really, really beautiful. I mean, I say green, it's kind of like an aqua colour. They will all be, look at the marbling on that one. So I'll show you them down on the mat as well, so you can have a closer inspection on just how beautiful these gemstone beads are. This one is your turquoise howlite. So howlite is your gemstone there, and it's been dyed this really gorgeous kind of turquoisey blue colour. I really do love the colour of this. This one is on the silver. Again, you could change that up if you wanted to get that 2 kits with the 15% discount and you wanted to pop this on a gold. I think for me, turquoise always looks lovely against copper. It looks beautiful, the blue tone against the silver. But I think because if you look at where you find turquoise, they're usually in copper mines, so they kind of grow together, so to speak. So you know, I do think copper always complements it. So if you wanted to put that with more of the gold champagne tone wire, you could do, but in this kit today I've put it with the silver and those silver little space beads as well. The markings on your howlite are lovely. They've got like little veins that kind of run across them. Really, really pretty. So that one is also £4.99. And then lastly, we've got the yellow jade, which is a lovely soft colour on the gold colour wire with the spacer beads. and you can have a little look at your components there. So we'll show you them down on the mat now as well, so you can see what they look like in kind of reality. Obviously you're still looking through a screen, but I think we've got really, I think they're a bargain price today, £4.99 or £5.99 for a genuine gemstone beautiful bracelet, which I think is fairly easy to make. I'm going to talk you through it all step by step. If of course you have any questions at all, feel free to drop me a comment. You can do so during the actual live, if you're watching live. If you're not watching live with us and you're watching back on YouTube at a later date, you can always leave me a comment and I'll do my best to go back in. I don't get notified of any questions or comments, but I do go back and regularly check. So I'm going to say hello to everybody who's just come in. If you've missed anything, do let me know. So I said good morning to Jan and Trish, Yolanda and Teresa. Angela said hello and told me it was very cold. Lisa said she's been looking forward to it. Trish says blinded sun and frost here where she's watching from. Good morning to Shirley, who's watching in Florida. Good morning to Camille. She says Facebook appears to be playing up again for her today. I've got lots of people watching in, but I have got Facebook people watching, but I would probably say there's a few more YouTubes maybe, I'm not too sure. Good morning to Debbie, good morning to Star, good morning to Jackie. A Facebook user says, I love this one. Thank you, whoever you are. Good morning to Amelia. Facebook user says, I'm the only one here. You may be watching on, I don't know, maybe Kitty Robinson's designs, and maybe you're the only one watching on that, but I have got lots of Facebook users watching as well. Whether they're watching via Totally Beads or the Handmade group, I'm not too sure. Jan says, these bracelets are beautiful. Thank you so much, Jan. Okay, let me take you down on the mat and you can have a proper look at them. If you do have any questions, pop a little Q in front of it. Oh, it's Camille, who's a Facebook user. Hello, my lovely. Yeah, pop a little Q in front sometimes in your comment, just so I can identify that a little bit better. Okay, so in fact, I'm going to move them slightly to the side so you can have a proper look. This one is your amethyst. I'm hoping my picture quality is okay. It's looking a little bit more fuzzy, but it may just be the distance. There you go. Okay, as long as you can see what I'm doing. If I can show you some of the kind of markings in this amethyst, if I hold that really close, so you can rotate the beads. Can you see that little kind of little white kind of coloration in some of this one's a lovely one. This one's kind of got a marbled effect. Obviously my ring light also causes that circle look at the front. That isn't like a drill hole. Your drill holes are at the side there. But I'm hoping you can kind of see the colours in this beautiful, beautiful amethyst one. Good morning from Worcestershire. Hopefully I've pronounced that. It doesn't look like it said, does it? Worcestershire, is that right? This one is your fluorite, again on the silver. So you can see just the difference in colour. I've got kind of clear looking ones, beautiful kind of light, kind of blue coloured ones, blue-green. You've got kind of purple looking ones, but some of the purple can be really deep, look like almost amethyst colour. And then if I just rotate that round, you can see how clear that becomes. We've got almost kind of citrine yellow coloured ones. This one's got a gorgeous band in it, but I don't think it's showing. And this one's fairly clear, but with kind of like almost a blue tone to it. Really, really, really lovely. Teresa says she's never thought about adding a spacer bead to these ones, so I'll show you. Camille says I'm lonely there, so she's come back to see everybody on YouTube. This one is your turquoise howlite, so you can see there some of the bands and colours in this. It has like little veins running through it, really beautiful colour. And of course we're making our own clasps as well, so they're really easy to kind of open and close, slide off and on. And also very easy to shape. Now in the gold colourways, we've got this beautiful yellow jade, really gorgeous, soft, little sunshiny colour. Thanks, Max. She has beautiful bracelets. This one is your carnelian. I'm really liking carnelian at the moment. I do always say I think you're drawn to what you need, so I think I need the properties of carnelian at the moment. I think I just want some warm sunshine. So this one is your gorgeous on the gold. And we've also got the dragon vein for you. So you've got kind of the most beautiful. I love this. It's kind of like, looks like ink is just kind of spilt into the kind of little veins that run across and give a marbling effect. Hold it that way. Hopefully you can see it a little bit. So we've got lovely, almost kind of cherry pink tones in that one. Some greens, some browns. Really lovely kind of earthy tones. So I'm going to do the fluorite one with you today, and I'm going to be using the silver spacer beads, which are 3mm in size. Really lovely little beads. And we've also got the silver plated wire. So I'm going to take 2 lengths of wire. I'm going to take one long length, which is about 24 inches, and a smaller length, which is about 12 inches. 12 inches is 30 centimeters. So the one which is a 24 inches will be 60 centimeters if you work that way. You can adjust the size to this to how you feel, as long as the shorter length is half of the size of your long length. You should be okay. So I'm going to take the larger length to begin with. It's fairly straight off the wire. You can see it's got a real curve in it there, but I don't mind that, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the 2 ends of that wire up together, and it is a long length, so do bear with me while I try and get it under the camera. I'm just going to put a little bend in it just to find the center. I've kind of got like this fish shape at the moment. I'm then going to take either my round nose pliers or my bail step pliers. I quite like using the bail step pliers for this one. And this is going to essentially create my loop at the end. If I can pick one up that I have done already. So what we're going to do is we're going to make this part of the loop, and that's going to work for my clasp to kind of clip in and out of. So you don't need a really large one, but large enough that you're going to be able to get this on and off with ease. Good morning, David. How are you doing? He said he's popping in, and I hope you're feeling okay. He's a bit tired. He's had his wisdom tooth out, so I hope you're doing all right, David. So with the longer length of wire that I've started to bend slightly in the middle, I'm probably going to use the second largest on my bail step pliers. If I'm using my round nose, I am going to take it all the way up towards the handle, so I've got that larger kind of size. So I'm just going to position my wire in the center around here, and I'm just going to draw those wires in. Now I probably will struggle getting this under the camera today because it is a large length, so do excuse me if I'm not quite in shot. I will keep checking that for you. Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pliers and I'm going to give it a little bit of a pinch just to draw that round together, and I can use my fingers as well. I have poured my beads out and I've managed to scatter them everywhere already. So I'm just bringing those two together, so I've got this little loop shape. Now, what's brilliant about the 1mm or 18 gauge wire is it is strong and sturdy enough to make sure that my clasp at the end is strong. It doesn't bend out of shape, but it is still soft enough to use my fingers with to create that shape, but also use my tools if I need to, because it is a little bit stronger. If at all that you find that you really are struggling with the 1mm, you could go down to a 0.8, but personally I think this is best. So I've got my kind of 2 tail ends. I'm going to straighten them out a little bit. It is going to still have a curve in it, but it doesn't matter. I just want these sections here running nice and parallel together. And I'm going to take my shorter length of wire, which is my 12 inches, and I'm going to place a little tail end just over the end of that wire, over the loop, or just near the loop. And I'm going to bring that wire all the way around. You can see I'm just using my fingers at the moment. And I've brought that wire all the way around here. Now what this will do is it can slide up and down, but I want to make sure that when I've wrapped this round, it's close up to the top of that loop. You can use your tools, of course, that's what they're there for. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to use that little tail end to bring it round and wrap up towards that loop. So I'm only going to bring it round about 3 times or so. So it's looking like this. And then I'm going to cut off this little tail end here. So I'm going to take my wire cutters, my flush cutters, and I'm going to give that a little snip. I'm just covering it over with my hand just to make sure that little bit that I've cut off doesn't fire away. And then of course I'm going to go back in with my pliers to tuck that end right down. What I don't want is any sharp bits sticking out, catching on clothes or catching against my wrist. So I've now created this little loop with this shorter length of wire wrapped around it. Good morning to Mo. She says good, or they say good morning from a very cold New York. Now what I'm going to do with this shorter wire is I'm going to position it in the middle of those, what was that longer two. Now when I open these two out, I'm just going to bend it slightly into the centre. And what you will find is that this centre wire, which was the shorter length, is now around the same length as the other two. So I'm just going to put a little bend in my wire, either with my fingers or with my tool, to get that in the centre. And then I'm going to straighten out my wires. So it's like this, and you'll see they're starting to curve a little bit. I'm just going to straighten it up, because what I want is this middle wire is going to be what I place my beads on. So I'd like that to be fairly straight. So I'm just straightening it through with my fingers. You can use your nylon coated or wire straighteners if you prefer, but just so it's not got many major kinks in, so I can slide my beads on with ease. I'm going to start off by adding on my 3mm spacer bead onto that 1mm wire in the centre. So it's just going on the centre, and I want to be able to push that bead up close so I can open out the other two wires at the side, splay them a little bit and push that bead fairly close. It will move for now, it's okay. And then I'm going to add one of my gemstone beads on. So, oh, look at that one. Look at the colours on that. Can you see the colours on there? So I'm going to add one of my fluorite on at the moment. You can use whatever beads you've chosen. So I've got the 8mm gemstone round on next. And then I'm going to add another one of my spacers. So I'm going to position, if I can, I'm going to position it round this way. Is going to end up hitting on everything, I think, just because I've got a small space to work on. But I'm going to make sure that my beads are down in position. If I need to adjust that wire a little bit, I can do, just so that one is sitting in the centre. So I'm going to bring this wire, which is on the right hand side, and I'm going to bring it round. So I'm creating a curve around my gemstone, and it's going to go behind this central wire and up between the one on the left. I'm then going to make sure that it's where I kind of want it around that bead, and I'm going to bring that wire all the way over, so it's coming from the right and it's back over on the right, and it's sitting close towards that 3mm bead that I've just put on there. I'm now going to take the left hand wire and I'm going to do the same, only this time I'm bringing it over the top of this wire here. So the right went underneath the middle wire. The left is going to go over the top of that middle wire. and bringing it all the way round back to the side that it started from. So just positioning it like so. Now if, I'll just move that ruler out the way slightly so I've got a bit more space. If you want to, you can use your tools to kind of press down and make sure that this is firmly around that those beads in the centre. These wires on the outside don't need much shaping. You'll find that as you place them around the beads, they shape themselves nicely in a curve. So on with the spacer, on with my gemstone, and add in another spacer bead onto the end here. So my beads are always going to go on that central wire. Again, I'm going to take the right hand side wire and I'm bringing it behind in that curve. It's going to go over the top and back round. The left hand wire now comes over the top. I'm trying not to hit my stand with the wire. And just move it out of shot, and then it will become easier for me to show you this when the wire gets a little bit shorter. So I'm just going to repeat that process, curving that wire round. So spacer. Mo's asking, how do I buy from the website? If you head over totallybeads.co.uk, you can go into our live tutorial section, Mo, where we have all of our kits. Today we're doing the Francesca Gemstone bracelet tutorial. So this is me doing the tutorial now. You can watch back at any time you want, but you can purchase the kits off our website. That changes it into whatever currency you prefer as well. You can just select your currency. And we will send the kit out to you. It's got everything you need in your kit apart from your tools to make this bracelet. In terms of your tools, I'm using round nose or bail step pliers, some wire cutters, and some like chain nose pliers just to tuck in. So there is a website. Yes, we are totallybeads.co.uk, and you can find all of our makes, past and present, on there. So back on with my next colour, I'm going for spacer. I'm going to go for, this one's more of a gorgeous purple colour, gemstone. And then on with the spacer again. I'll show you at the end, Mo. I'll take you back over to the website so you can see. So bringing the right hand side wire underneath and over the top of the middle. And I'm trying to keep that wire fairly close down to that bead there. As you can see, just smooth it out with my fingers if I put any major kinks in it. Then the left hand wire is going over the top and behind underneath, like so. And if I feel it needs adjusting, I can gently push down on those wires. What I would say though is just make sure you don't put too much pressure on the spacer beads, because you could, or your gemstone beads, because you could crack that. So you just want to put a little bit of pressure on that wire if need be. Thanks, Jan. She says you can click on the link in the description as well. So I can't see that, but if you're Mo's watching on YouTube, you can see if you click on that little link at the top of the YouTube link, it will take you straight to the website. So spacer bead, my gemstone, which this one is more of a kind of yellowy kind of colour, and spacer bead. I think I'm going to actually turn it to the side. I think it might give me a little bit more room underneath my camera. So going underneath on one side, it doesn't matter which side you do first. If you want to do the left before the right, you can absolutely do that. But I think whichever way you start, just keep that kind of pattern and repetition going. Next one is coming over the top and around that gemstone. So I'm just going to be repeating this pattern until I've got the length that I want. I do want it quite close around those beads. But you'll find that this wire, as I say, even though it's that 1mm 18 gauge, it's still nice and soft and easy to work with. So spacer bead on. I'm trying to go and probably trying to keep the pattern I've got in the colours, because I've been really lucky in my kit. Obviously each gemstone is completely different, and even in terms of colour, some of them can be very, very different. But in my fluorite one, I seem to have a couple of the same. So I'm going to kind of continue that kind of colourway, but it really doesn't matter. So I'm taking the right side and I'm bringing that behind and over the top of that middle wire, pushing that down. Left side, coming over the top, underneath and back round. So just keep going with this until you've got the length that you're there or thereabouts that you're after. Spacer, gemstone, and spacer. Mo says they're very reasonably priced and stacking even prettier. Yeah, you could wear a couple of these on the same wrist. That'd be lovely. I mean, you could even, if you wanted to, make a matching necklace, kind of create a loop on this side and shape it slightly to attach with a chain. That would be lovely. So it's coming underneath that middle wire around the gemstone and spacer beads. Just kind of hold it in place. So I've got that curve. The other one is coming over the top and round the back. So the left still stays on the left and the right still stays on the right. They just create this lovely kind of wrapped, kind of swirled section around those gemstone beads. Spacer always onto the middle gemstone, always onto that middle wire, finishing with another spacer. Bringing it round the back on one side, close to that spacer bead, and over, and then over the top on the other side. So it's sitting on top of the last wire that we've just brought over, and back round. So I'm going to continue with a couple more. I have got small wrists, but I will show you if maybe we put 11 on of the beads. I think you're getting 12 in your kit, but I'll show you, what length that's coming to. Around the back and over the top, over the top and round the back. Just straighten it out a little with my fingers. So I've kind of got this T shape. You work the way you feel comfortable. Usually when I'm working, I hold it to the side and I'm lifting it up so it's kind of away from the mat. So I've got space to bring that wire underneath. Obviously for demonstration purposes today, I'm close down to the table and I'm holding it this way so you can differentiate, we say, in the right side and the left side, but you work whatever way you're comfortable. Elaine says, good morning, Natalie. Are the fluorite gemstones a natural colour or dye, please? I will have to check on that for you. If I have a little look, it might say in the description. I think they're natural. Obviously, your howlite is dyed, but I think they may be natural. But I will check with the warehouse for you, unless you want to shoot them a quick message and they should be able to answer that for you. They are very beautiful either way, but I wouldn't want to confirm one way or the other, and I don't want to mislead anybody. Teresa says now to make a whole set. Oh, tutorial for ring to match. Yeah, we could do a ring tutorial. Yeah, well, I'm going down to the warehouse in a couple of weeks actually, so I'll be putting all sorts of kits together. I've got hundreds of ideas, and each time I do a live I think, oh, we could do that as well, and oh, we could do that as well. So yeah, I might add this to my list of more ideas of things to play along with. Tina says, hello everybody, hope everyone is warm. She's in Texas, not used to 18 degree, feels like 3 degrees. Brr. Mo says, yes, a set, but you just use the smaller size. Yeah, you could add a smaller size. I think it'd look lovely with this size as well, to be honest, just to have like a section in the middle. Yolanda says she's waiting on her order and she can't wait to make things. Thank you very much. Mo's been very complimentary. Quite easy to make and the result is gorgeous. It's really, really, really easy. Oh, and thank you. She says you explain everything so clearly, and though I usually avoid wire work, I've ordered 2 kits. Keep your fingers crossed for me. And if you've got any questions at all, once your kit arrive, if you want to, pop me a comment on YouTube or whatever, I will definitely, or in the handmade group, I will talk you through anything you need. Let me count how many gemstones I've got so far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to add a little bit more on. So around the back and over the front. As I say, you can adjust if you want a slightly longer or shorter wire bracelet length. I would increase your wire a little bit if need be. Obviously, it's always easier to start off with a longer length of wire and cut off any excess that you don't need than work the other way, and you can't add that wire on. I am unfortunately going to just close my curtain over slightly because that sunshine's beautiful, but it is creating a shadow on my mat, so I apologise for that. Thank you, Facebook user. Says good morning, everybody, and myself. Looks lovely, lovely make. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to add my spacer, my gemstone, and my spacer. I'm going to bring the wire round. I think I may finish it off this size, and then I'll get to keep it. Bring in the other one around the front and over. So when you get to your last one, you just do as normal. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this little wire here that I wrapped over first, and I'm going to bring that all the way round because I'm going to want to wrap that off and tuck that in. So I'm going to bring it all the way round, give it a trim with my cutter, and then I'm going to tuck it in just to make sure that it is secured in place and there's no sharp edges sticking out. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start making my clasp. So I've still got this wire here that was in the middle, and I'm going to take about an inch or so. So I'm just going to measure it against my ruler, and I'm going to take my wire and I'm going to put a bend in it. In fact, I'll leave that there because I'm going to need to measure this in a minute to let you know the size. So I'm going to just take about an inch from the last gemstone and spacer, and I'm going to bend that wire all the way around so it comes back on itself. I'm then going to just take my pliers. I'm going to put a little bit of pressure using my chain nose pliers onto the end of that wire. So where that bend is, it's going to run nice and close and parallel to each other like so. I'm then going to cut off this wire that's coming back down just where that first kind of wrap sits. So I have now something that looks like this. And then I'm going to take this other side of the wire and I'm going to use this to kind of bind it together and wrap it in place. So I'm going to hold that together. You can again use your tools with this. At the moment I'm just using my fingers, and I'm going to bring that wire all the way around a few times, trying to keep those coils nice and close to each other so there's no major gaps. But what you'll see is when I bring that wire round, it starts to trap this one in together. Just going to tighten that up a little bit. So I'm just going to put a few coils on that. Doesn't have to be loads, but just enough that this wire isn't going to move out of place. That's now trapped in next to it. You could as well, if you wanted, make a little spiral on the end of that, but if not, just cut off. And again, use your pliers to tuck down that edge. So what I tend to do is I just give it kind of like a rotation, really, just so I can make sure it's firmly in, and I can readjust this if need be. So I'm going to lay this now down on the table, and this will be probably a smaller one because I've only used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of my gemstones. You're going to get 12 in your kit, and this is coming at the moment is about an 8-inch bracelet, so that is, I personally feel, more than enough. Obviously we'll use a little bit of that length when we kind of bend that into our clasp shape, which we're going to do now. So to make our little clasp, I'm going to take again round nose pliers or my bail step pliers. If I'm using the bail step pliers, I'm going to use the smallest size, and I'm going to put a little bit of a curve in there so it looks like this. And then using my chain nose, or if you want, actually you could use your bail step again, I'm just going to hold it just around halfway, a little bit less than halfway, and I'm just going to bend that over in the opposite direction. I think actually I'd like a little bit of a curve on that, so I am going to use the bail step pliers. I'm just going to position that down around it like so. So I've got that kind of little hook clasp. If you find that's a bit too sticky uppy, then you can just adjust it with your pliers. And now I can start to shape this now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from kind of the center of my beads, and I'm just going to start using my fingers to start curving gradually that around to put a little curve. And I don't want to bend it sharply in the middle, just going to start gently moving it from one end to the other. And what you will find is that these will eventually meet, and you can hook them on together like so. So I say I've got quite a small wrist. If I was to open this up again, this bracelet type bangle is sitting at about 7.5 inches. So you've got enough in your kit to make a larger bangle should you wish. I'm just going to put that little curve in. Now remember, your wrist isn't fully circular, it's more of an oval shape. And what's lovely about making with wire is that you can kind of manipulate that shape to your wrist as well. So you can see really easily I'm able to just hook that clasp on through, and then my bracelet is ready to wear. Oh, thank you, Mo. She says, like Natalie, she gives off a peaceful vibe. It's probably because I'm half asleep, Mo. Thank you so much. Tina says that's so lovely. And she's looking forward to seeing a recorded one. Oh, it's very cold in places around. A lot of people in New York are really, really cold at the moment. I hope you're okay. So if I'll take you back onto the website again, I'll show you them quickly here. We've got 6 lovely colourways for you to choose from today. The 3 colours that I've put on the gold are the yellow jade, your carnelian, and your dragon vein. You've got the fluorite on the silver, which I've just demoed for you then, the turquoise howlite, and your gorgeous amethyst too. I'm using the 1mm or 18 gauge wire, two lengths at around 24 and 12 inches. You can add a little bit more to that if you want, and you can see I think that's probably the length of one part that I'd cut off. So I was fairly accurate with my measurements, but always try and go maybe a little bit more than you think you need. You should have, I think, 12 of your gorgeous 8mm gemstone rounds in your kit, so you'll be able to make the size hopefully that fits and accommodates you. And we've got the 3mm spacer beads in there as well. If I take you back over to the website, we are totallybeads.co.uk. Let me just close this one off for you. So yeah, we're totallybeads.co.uk. You can find all our video tutorials in the Learn to Make Jewellery category, or you can scroll into the video tutorial category. So there's myself, Natalie, we've got Laura, and we've got the wonderful Kitty as well. Laura's brilliant at chainmail stuff, Kitty's amazing at stitch beading. I do a bit of everything, but my speciality is wire work. That's what I love to do the most. You can see all of our tutorials in this section. We're live 3 times a week, Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays. You can search on the website if you've got a particular thing you would like to make. So you know, I want to make a pair of earrings, or I want to do wire, or want to do macrame. Then you can search by kind, by date, by bead, by technique. And if you find one that you like, just click on in it. This one today is our Francesca bracelets. It will take you through to the link so you can watch our tutorial back and see how to make along with us, and you can buy your kits as well. Today there is an offer on which is any two get 15% off, and that is for the whole week. That offer will stay on. And we ship worldwide as well. So you can change your currency just here at the top, and you can add things to your basket and hopefully get them soon. And if there's any questions that you have at all, then don't hesitate to give me a little nudge and just say, Natalie, what was I doing at this bit? How do you do with that bit? And we will always, or you can always message the warehouse, and we'll always do our very best to get back to you and respond to you. Mo says, look at her whole store. I'd love to take credit. I'm not Totally Beads. I have the pleasure of working for Totally Beads. If you want to have a look at my makes, I'm Rock Scissors Paper. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook as well. I do have a YouTube playlist, so I'll be sharing this as soon as I've finished, and you can have a little look back there as well. So thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to be back with you as always on Friday. I'm going to be making some necklaces on Friday. I think I've got that much planned. I'm not sure what's when, but there'll be lovely little spacer beads. I think I'm using gemstones. I love gemstones. If you don't know, I'm Nat and I'm obsessed with gemstones. So please come and join me if you can do on Friday. If you can't find me then, you can always watch me back at your leisure. Have a lovely week, everybody, and I will see you soon. Take care. Bye.